give a subheading to this podcast, Trudeau pro-Chinese. It's all based on a little tweet that has been put out by Andrew Lawton, and this is his quote. "This is quite something. Justin Trudeau is asked about safeguarding Canadian institutions after scientists shared research with Chinese People Liberation Army. Justin Trudeau responds with a lecture about anti-Asian racism and diversity." Play clip. To me, Trudeau is a clear and present danger to Canada and Canadians. It amazes me that we actually have a security service in this country. Why am I amazed? Because it's clear they are not operating according to their purview. Because if they were, they would be asking the Federal Liberal Communist Party of Canada some very serious questions, and also that of their leader. Canada openly supports China under this regime, as do the Marxist Democrats in the United States, both of which I predict will stand back and do nothing when Taiwan is invaded. What the world is now witnessing all over the world is 1936 Europe all over again. This is why I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to study history, for students to be taught world history. If you don't teach it, you are bound to repeat it as though it was the first time you've ever heard it. Education 101 is teach Marxism and communism in schools. And you are teaching how your country is so bad. That is why all these people, and I make no bones about this, every teacher in Canada should be fired. Now let me finish. They should be re-interviewed, analysed, deconstructed and decided whether they are pro or anti-Canadian. Not pro or anti-communism, because that's irrelevant. If they're Canadian first, they shouldn't have anything to do with communism. If you teach freedom and democracy and self-reliance, then you are teaching people or children how to think and be free. Example in politics. Those who are not held accountable for fraud, corruption and, yes, treason will never understand the consequences of their actions, because for them there are no consequences. Just like the stupid, dumb politicians in New Zealand who gave up their military because it was just like the stupid, dumb politicians in New Zealand who gave up their military because it was too expensive. Now they have to rely on another country to defend themselves. Examples. Britain is too weak because it's cut its military beyond the bone. They're into the marrow now. Europe is weak because it's always been weak. Canada is weak because it's run by liberals. And one day I'll go into that in more detail, but not while I'm living in Canada. China is not. America will be. And as usual, all the signs point to aggression. Why? Because I study history. Any right-minded person would study history and realise what the signs are. But this time, there will be no time to recover. Trudeau, in my mind, is a traitor to Canada. Biden is a communist, a Manchurian candidate. And Britain is as weak as it was, and Britain is as weak as it was in September 1939. China's not playing games. They're playing for keeps. And we knowingly have given them all the cards. Finally, I want to pivot to something else which is equally as relevant. Michael Walsh was on War Room and Pandemic, and you can hear that on episode 978, May 26. I want you to listen to this author, Michael Walsh, in his own words, describing something that, according to Trudeau, is racist. Play clip. And remember, it was Trudeau who kept our skies open. It was Trudeau who kept our borders open. It was Trudeau who kept international flights coming in. While many countries had already closed theirs. Is that racist, or is that an inconvenient fact, Mr. Trudeau?